So Ben, which wonder of the ancient world had the best JavaScript web application?
I don't care.
The Hanging Gardens at Babylon.
Hey there. It's me, Ben, and this is Jack.
Hey.
So today we're going to talk about deploying static front-end sites and different things that we like about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is something. There's lots of things out there for like back-end, and Heroku type things. But sometimes when there's a front-end project, it can be a little more. Things like Heroku don't work for that. So there's a few other options we can use.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think my favorite thing is GitHub Pages, right?
Yes.
It's just super easy to get started and very open and transparent, and you can use all the pull requests to get new content in.
Yeah.
One of the things I really like about GitHub Pages, so I put my blog on GitHub Pages, and so the main blog is on GitHub Pages, but any other kind of test repository that I've got, you can access as a sub-directory of my blog.
Yes.
So as soon as I put up like foo as a repository, if I have a GH Pages branch on that, then I can just access that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Shall I show you?
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
We'll see how that works. Cool. So, for instance, if I've got this repository called pages-demo, over on my blog, if I go to /pages/demo, foo.html, I get that content. And what's really cool is as soon as I push up a change, so I can edit it in place here, so I can change this to var, and then commit those changes. And as soon as those changes get pushed up, they go into my GitHub Pages, and after a few minutes, like sometimes it takes like maybe about 20-30 seconds, this will update to bar.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's really cool.
And it's just a really lightweight, flexible way of doing it. So I dig GitHub Pages a lot.
Yeah, I host my blog on it too, and it's great I've had a couple of people contribute posts or fixes to blog posts, and the way they can just pull requests into GitHub is brilliant. They don't charge for GitHub Pages, which is amazing. Like, even for larger sites, they don't kind of ask for money or anything. It's amazing. Yeah. My favorite things.
I mean, Git is a really great tool for tracking content, right? Like not just code. So it's so nice to be able to see how some content has changed over time. And we use that quite a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. You've been using Surge?
Yeah, this is a new thing I've come across called Surge, which I think as a tool has been around for a little bit, not too long. And all this is a really easy way to just take a folder on your computer and just chuck it at some random URL, and that's it in a nutshell. So it doesn't use Git, it literally takes whatever folder you run it in and just puts it on a random URL, and that's it.
Cool, so that's like lightweight.
Yeah, really, really lightweight. Cool, so I'm in this directory called foo. It's just got an index HTML file that just says hello world in it. And if I now want to put this online, I can just run Surge, which is you just install through npm. I've signed up for an account, but it's entirely free to do so. I haven't given them any card details or anything. I hit Surge, so it fills in my kind of email and stuff, and then it asks me for the path for what folder I want to deploy. So I just use this current folder, and I hit, and it will pick a random domain, but you can give it your own name if you want to. But now I've done that, I can just grab this URL here and copy it and go into Chrome and paste it. And I've now got that site up right now, which is just amazing and really quick, effortless. It's not even Git, so you don't have to do the Git commits and stuff. And also, if I were to just change that file, all I have to do is rerun Surge, just use the same domain name that I've already used previously, and it will just overwrite. So it's kind of like dumb copy and paste, if you like, but it works perfectly for kind of front-end only projects where there's no server and there's a bunch of static stuff.
That's fantastic.
Highly recommend at surge.sh to get started. You should. Yeah.
We'll get started.
Yeah, get started.
Excellent. One of the things I guess that is cool about that, like I find with GitHub Pages, when I'm transpiling from whatever to something else, you've got to commit it into your kind of code base. Whereas with Surge, because it's just a folder, you could have your like dist directory or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I've done. You build into a subdirectory, which is the thing you push onto Surge. Yeah,
cool. That
works really nicely.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're quite into kind of transpilation stuff, right?
Transpiling and bundling and concatenating and minifying, all of them. I love it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because as we were having this discussion earlier, we can't write plain old JavaScript anymore, apparently,
it's not,
right?
Not cool.
Yeah, but you're a fan of kind of keeping it lean and not transpiling.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm like, so we both like Buble, right? Like, I mean, I think that's a really kind of like lightweight transform thing, and I like knowing, like, I like transforming arrow functions into like
Yeah.
a slightly different syntax and stuff. But as soon as it gets like beyond that, I kind of feel like I've lost control of my code or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It just makes me feel uncomfortable, I think.
So you've
But,
you've got Buble, which is the lightweight compiler or transpiler by Rich Harris, which does a very kind of defined subset of ES 2015.
Exactly.
So Babel can be configured to transpile everything ever into everything ever, and it does things like generators and the more complex ES 2015 features, whereas Buble is just a very defined kind of, the more, I guess you would call them straightforward transforms, like arrow functions into just function expressions and destructuring into, and so on and so forth. What's really cool actually at the moment as well is we're seeing in certain environments, we don't need those tools anymore. Like Chrome's support for ES 2015 is pretty good. Edge's support for ES 2015 is very good as well. So we're getting to a point now actually where, yes, if you want to just blindly use every feature without considering the browser, you should use Babel. But if you just say, if you really like arrow functions, which I know you are a particular advocate of, then you might be in a position soon where you can just use them because the users you're targeting on the browsers they're on may well support it. Like, we're not quite there, I don't think, but you know, we are edging towards that direction, which is really cool. But yeah, and then you come on to bundling, which is just another thing to deal with. You've got like Webpack, Browserify, Rollup, also by Rich Harris, JSPM. There's a ton of options for that.
There's a new JSPM, there's a new version out or something?
Yeah, there's a JSPM 0.17, which is kind of the next big release, which is currently in beta, which I'm talking on in a couple of events coming up soon. But JSPM is kind of aims to be the one tool you need to do all your bundling and minification and package management on client-side applications. So it will install things for you and then kind of hook up Babel, so all the transpilation just works for you, and then it will bundle those all together for you. It can do basically everything. It aims to be, in this world of people getting dragged down by like 20 different tools they need to build their website, JSPM aims to be that one that slots in. I think it's really cool. I'm sure I'll be blogging about it soon. It's still in beta, the new version, so there are a couple of rough edges, but the non-beta version has been around for a good few years now. I've used it on previous projects, and it's a really nice thing to look into if you don't want to have to like compose lots of tools together and just want one thing to build your client-side app with. I think JSPM is a really good choice.
Cool.
What's your go-to?
I really like Gulp, and I think I've always kind of got on with the way that you kind of define those transforms of files. Like, I feel like it kind of makes quite a lot of sense. So I tend to use that on quite a lot of my projects. But then again, as we were talking about a while ago, it's just like I really dislike the amount of stuff I have to install just to kind of convert a SAS file into a CSS file. You know, it's like when you've got all these different plugins and a folder full of dependencies.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where people get stuck with Webpack as well, because Webpack it's very, very powerful and it's great, but it does everything. And you know, Webpack will do JavaScript, it will do CSS, it will do images, it will do absolutely everything for you. So it's very easy to kind of put yourself into a corner with Webpack where you've no idea what's going on. But if you build from scratch, I think Webpack is a really good tool, especially with the like live reloading and watching and small builds, kind of rebuilds built in.
Yeah. Cool. One of the things I've been getting into is like using package scripts, like so in package.json to define script things, and just using kind of really basic commands to kind of copy stuff across and things like that. So that's been something. I think that might be a nice alternative, possibly, but I'm still not totally there yet.
Yeah, I think I'm a fan of that too, but then you get back to the problem of having like 7 different things installed just to have this combination of scripts that will build your entire project. Like, yeah, we're not quite there yet. Like, if you pick one tool that does it all, that's great, until you need to maybe configure it slightly differently. But if you pick lots of little ones, you have full control, but then you have more chance of them breaking and they're a bit more brittle, and then you have to do a bit more work. So it's whichever one you're more comfortable with, I think, and what level of control you need. You usually have an HTML file in development that might load in a few different script tags and a few different CSS things, because in development you don't care about the extra requests and stuff, you just want to kind of build your application. Then in production, you're probably going to take those like 4 script tags and merge them into one, and you're probably going to take your 4 CSS files again, shove them into one, or whatever you might do. And then, so what you need is you then need another HTML file that you'll actually push to production that has the script tag just to your bundled JavaScript, and similar for your CSS, or maybe you're inlining some CSS, as we'll come on to. And you could just manually create this new HTML file, but then the problem is if you add, say, a new div to your development HTML file, you have to remember to replicate that in your production HTML file.
Yeah.
because the two need to be in sync other than the scripts and the CSSs that are being bundled during deployment. So I built a tool called HTMLDist, which can manipulate HTML files basically. So we'll include a link, and I'd love any feedback on it, but effectively takes one HTML file, you write a kind of config file that can transform it into another. So it's a way of automating the HTML side of your deployments as well as your JavaScript and CSS.
It sounds great. Like, I've checked it out, right? Like, it's kind of, I think it's quite an interesting approach to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
So I guess one of the other things you mentioned briefly is like inlining CSS or whatever. So that's like one of the kind of classic ways of using your build process to make your front end more optimal is usually the person has to request your HTML and then they can start looking through that and they'll find the style sheet and they have to make another request to go and do that.
Yeah.
But one way of reducing that extra round trip, which can cause a lot of lag, is to kind of inline that CSS from that file.
Yeah.
So that's something that's kind of cool with the build process. I guess that changes HTTP 2 possibly.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. So.
I think Adi Osmani refers to that as the critical path CSS.
Yeah.
Same kind of idea.
Yeah.
But rather than the whole style sheet, that critical path approach is basically rendering your page, seeing what's important, and taking those styles and inlining them.
Yeah, so I think, yes. Yeah. So Adi wrote UnCSS, which
okay.
pipe in some HTML and then it'll kind of find out which selectors are used.
Cool.
So you can pull out from your CSS file, which is
nice.
cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so to round off, we're going to do our any other business part of the show.
Cool.
So do you want to start? Do you want to do yours?
Yeah, for
Yeah?
sure. So I've got a couple of bits of any other business.
Yeah.
And first of all, so RenderConf, which we were both involved in, you spoke
We were,
at, and I was
yeah.
helping curate, and the videos are now online, so there's some awesome talks there. So you should definitely check those out.
Yeah, it was a great couple of days.
Yeah. It was a great couple of days. It was like properly special.
Yeah.
And the other bit of thing that I've been working on at the moment is, so I help run this series of events up in Oxford called Summer of Hacks. And these are like hack days that we run in the community, and they're brilliant. Like, they're really great days. And so we just put Summer of Hacks, a new version of the site.
Cool.
With the new version, with the new events for this year. And that's going to be great.
Nice.
So summerofhacks.io.
Sweet. And tickets are up?
Tickets are up. They're
Cool.
going fast.
I have a tiny bit of any other business. I just want to give a plug to Adi Osmani's talk at Google I/O, which was happening last week, which was on progressive web apps, but across all frameworks. So we've seen a lot from Google on this progressive web apps idea, but very specifically normally building like a small app or using like Polymer, which is a Google product. But in this talk, Adi takes an existing web app built in React, then one in Ember, and then one in Angular 2, and turns them each into a progressive web app. So it's really great to see. Like, I think people kind of hit progressive web apps with the stick of, well, this only works for new applications that are built in this very specific way. But Adi very well, does a great job of demonstrating that that's not the case at all. So
yeah, that's what we've got to say on that. So yeah, if you've got any comments or if you like have anything to add or want us to put any more links in the show notes, then drop us a message and we'll do that. And just
we'll see you next time.
And see you next time on this show.